What up, Shredder? If you're wondering if you can learn to snowboard at 30, 40, or even 50 years old, you can. You just need to be aware of the differences in learning to snowboard at each age. And if you don't believe me, I have proof. The founder of Bally's Total Fitness, Don Wildman, is on record saying, "I prefer heli snowboarding because you can get more air off the cornices." The catch? He was in his late 70s when he said it. One article even claims he was logging 80 plus days a year on a snowboard into his 80s. So if you're sitting there at 30, 40, or even 50 years old feeling sorry for yourself, don't. You could snowboard well into your 60s, 70s, and even your 80s, and even get good at snowboarding, even if you're a beginner, if you follow these steps. Before we do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit notifications, and smash that like button. Let's get it. All right, so we're back with 7 tips for older snowboarders. That means if you want to learn to snowboard at 30, 40, 50, 60, this is for you. And if you're younger, these tips aren't gonna hurt, so check them out. Number 1, get in shape first. A lot of people think that they're not capable of snowboarding or some physical activity because they're old. But the truth is, they're not old, they're just out of shape. See, what happens is their life has gone on long enough that their habits have caught up with them. When you're young, you can get away with anything. You can go out drinking every weekend, you can skip the gym, skip the yoga, never stress before riding, and still be at the top of your game. As you get into your late 20s and your 30s, this is gonna start to change, and the older you get, the more you have to take care of yourself. So if you simply just get in shape before you go to the mountain, and by that I mean go to the gym, go to a CrossFit class, get some basic cardio, don't forget to stretch, you're all of a sudden going to get your athletic prowess back. Start taking care of yourself and you're gonna have no problem out there on the slope. Snowboarding is demanding, but it's not the most demanding sport in the world. Number 2, wear wrist guards, a helmet, and butt pads. Now, this is not something I do, but I recommend it to all beginners. And that's because if you get hurt before you even learn how to snowboard, you're gonna give up before you even had a chance. So the most common injury in snowboarding is a wrist fracture in beginner snowboarders. And that's because you catch the edge, you fall backwards, you stick your wrist out, and it snaps. I've been there. So if you wear those wrist guards, a helmet, and butt pads, you're gonna get rid of a lot of the bruising that you're gonna see in those first 3 days of snowboarding, where you really have to stick it out to figure it out. And you're gonna prevent injuries so you can ride long enough to get good.
What up, Shredder? We interrupt this for a brief commercial announcement. If you like what you're watching right now, and you are a complete beginner at snowboarding, and you want a step-by-step process to get better, so you can go out there and make turns on the whole mountain, from green circles to double black diamonds, we've got a 28-piece series to take you from learning how to get on the lift, to link those turns, to start to do your first butters inside of Shred School. So the best way to support us if you like our channel is to go sign up for Shred School right now. You're gonna get that beginner series and you can start working through step by step. All right, back to your video.
Tip number 3, learn to dress in layers and get a face mask. I see far too many beginners out on the slopes dressed like they're headed out on the town for a night. They're in jeans, they've got an open jacket, their neck, their head is exposed. You're gonna lose a lot of that heat through the top of your head and your face and your neck. So if you can just get a face mask, zip that jacket up, and then learn to dress in layers underneath your outerwear. So if you get too hot, you don't sweat and it freezes up. Or if the weather changes rapidly, you're not all of a sudden wondering, why would I try a sport that takes place out on the mountain in the middle of a snowstorm? Simply dress in the proper base layers. If you want to learn how to do that, check out our full-length video on what to wear to the mountain. Number 4, practice 1-foot riding, or as we call it, skating, before ever getting on a chairlift. See, one of the hardest parts about snowboarding is actually getting on and off the chairlift, but it's just something you have to do to actually get out there and snowboard. So if you can just go through a couple key drills, check those out in Shred School if you need them, you're gonna get a lot more comfortable and a lot more confident, so you're not falling when you get off the lift, holding up everybody behind you and getting too embarrassed to go out there and snowboard again. If you really wanna go deep on this, check out our video on how to survive the chairlift. Tip number 5, get help setting up your gear. If you mess up setting up your gear, your stance, not riding the right equipment, not riding the right board, your bindings don't fit, you're not gonna stand a chance out there. So get help setting it up. And by that, I don't mean the rental shop, because a lot of times these are just young kids who do not care at all, and they'll set you up with a horrible stance, and they're not setting you up for success. So get help from somebody who knows what they're talking about. Again, we have videos on that, or just get your shredder buddies who already know this stuff to help you out. It's not rocket science, and you're gonna be good to go. Number 6, train in the off season. I already said to get in shape, but there are key skills that we use on a snowboard, like balance, that you can train in the off season. They're gonna make it so much easier out there on the snow. The main ones here are really anything on a board. You know, any one of us can get on a balance board, just get a foam roller and a skateboard deck from Amazon, and you can just balance back and forth. If you want to take it to the next level, get a Snowboard Addiction jib board and actually learn what it feels like to get on that rail. But also skateboarding, wakeboarding, longboarding, electric skateboards, anything where you're standing sideways on a board is going to drastically increase your ability on a snowboard, and you don't have to wait till you get to the mountain to practice that. Snowboarding is expensive enough that we might not want to go through those beginner growing pains for $200 a day lift ticket when we can do it on a skateboard for free in our driveway. And tip number 7, you can ride into your 80s if you take care of yourself, okay? You're gonna have to start to know your limits as you get older. The injuries do take longer to heal, but if you work on incremental progress, the Shred School way, use building blocks, train in the off season, take care of your body, and do yoga every day, you can ride into your 80s. I've seen it all across Instagram. I've seen it with the founder of Valley's Total Fitness. And recently I came across this guy who's in his 50s, mid 50s, still throwing down 900s over park jumps. So you can really ride and shred hard a lot longer than you think if you just take care of your body. Take care of your body and it will take care of you. And just one last note, it gets easier, okay? You gotta get through those first 3 days. It might hurt a little bit, you might get bruised up, but I promise you, if you can stick with it through 3 full days, get proper instruction, either through Shred School or an instructor on the mountain, it's gonna start to click, and all of a sudden you're gonna realize why so many people are obsessed with this sport. It's one of the most fun things you can do in the world. Go out there, give it a shot. Let us know what you think in the comments. That's all for today. Peace out, Shredder.